In this video I'm going to show you how to win at Risk by giving away Australia for your opponent. This is another 4-player fixed card game which is being played with my subscribers. The white and blue players are Grandmasters, and the orange player is a beginner. Settings: Alliance is on, balance blitz dice rolls in 60 seconds per turn. Of course it would have been probably the best decision to go for South America for me to have the highest odds to get and hold the continent, but this time I want to try using some different strategy than usual. I'm wondering if I actually be able to successfully capture and hold North America. The blue player is my ally after all, so assuming he will appreciate me with me moving my troops out from South America later on, then I more or less would only have to guard against orange and white. But in any case, even if I don't get to hold it, or even if I get eliminated first, then it will be fine either way. But I thought I will play a little bit more risky this time. Instead of being the one who immediately captures a continent and then highly weakens other opponents with someone else, I actually want to see how my subscribers would play being in such positions without me. But also I really want to use some North American strategy this time, so hopefully the blue player stays as a loyal ally for me. So I just wish he would move away his 8 troops army from Venezuela, so I would be able to move my 4 South American troops out to North America. I don't really want to attack the territory of Brazil, as maybe then the blue player just crushed them. But anyways, the situation doesn't look too good for me after all, with the white player capturing Africa and with the orange player getting Australia next turn, and probably with the blue player getting South America soon as well. I will be the only player without a continent, so due to that and with me ending up being the weakest, it might make the most sense for them to start targeting me to eliminate me as the 4th player who is not really needed for the balance of the game to be sustained. But who knows, the white player seems to use the African turtle strategy by putting the majority of troops in a blocked place on East Africa, so even though he will be the strongest, I assume he might still be passive. Then the blue player is technically my ally, and finally I'm not sure how aggressive the orange player as a beginner is going to play. So even though my situation looks terrible, I wouldn't say immediately that I already lost. And wow. The white player is actually very aggressive. It was really unexpected to me for him to clear out orange from Australia when it seemed he was about to just turtle, but I really like it. I always really like the aggressive gameplay over the passive one. And also another thing why it was good, because it increases my chances to end up being in a 3-player situation. With some of the troops being crushed, now the orange player is in the biggest risk to get eliminated first. But besides that, still a worry stays that the white and blue players decide to start targeting both of us at once to guarantee the biggest advantage for themselves. The white player actually might be really strong now with the orange player not retaliating. And that's really nice. The blue player was invaded also. It seemed the blue player was not guarding against him at all while putting the troops next to my border, but now it might be in a different way. So actually I'm not really sure if it was a great idea for the white player to invade blue instead of having the alliance, as with the orange player probably not being happy about him as well, and with me obviously going to help to sustain the balance of the game by attacking him too if I see it's needed. He will only be by himself alone. But yeah, I mean in any case, he would still be able to eliminate one of us from the game and end up being in a 3-player situation. But yeah, I think it can actually be very fun to try fighting all of your 3 opponents at once, to try gaining and sustaining the advantage for yourself, and then if lucky enough getting the most satisfying victory ever by beating all of the 3 opponents at your own. But yeah, I think I see the white player is backing out from his plan to be very aggressive and is letting the blue player get South America once again. So anyways, after capturing North America I didn't guard my Central American and Greenland borders because one thing I want to see how trustful my allies would be, and then of course I wouldn't like to get some more of my troops crushed. As even with the blue and orange players letting me hold it, the white player could still invade me, and if I were losing a lot of troops, then it would put me behind orange and blue. So yeah, I'm not sure how it will go, but looking to the troops counter maybe I should consider attacking someone. But probably I could only attack white, as by attacking someone else I would just increase his advantage, so unless the white player would like to team up with me on someone. But yeah, I don't know, we aren't even allies. And yeah, he invades me and that's probably a very good decision as well. If we are not allies with him, then he doesn't want to let me get some extra troops when he could easily prevent that, as I wouldn't waste them on blue or orange anyways, so unless he would weaken one of them quite a bit firstly with him being stronger than me. Unless the white player becomes passive or the orange player helps me to guard my Greenland's border, I will get invaded once again, but after that, after trading in a set, I might be able to guard both of my top borders more or less properly, but obviously it could still be a risk as the white player could consider crushing one of my biggest armies anyways. But alright, the white player is taking the orange player out, so now I will be able to make some attacks as well, instead of being in a surviving state when thinking how to out-survive either orange or blue so I wouldn't be eliminated first. But now with the white player deciding which player to eliminate from the game, I will actually be able to start making some moves instead of pretty much not doing anything. At first I was thinking to only invade and take Australia from the white player, while leaving Europe for the blue player, but without being sure if the blue player actually invades it, I decided to play safely. As after all I don't even know which alliance the blue player decides to choose. Whether he decides to team up with me on white, or with white on me. So far the blue player seems to be neutral and that's probably the best decision for him. He probably would like to see us attacking each other some more, so that would basically guarantee him not being in the third place, as he would be able to choose which person to help out and which person to attack. In any case I don't really want to prolong the game, so with the blue player being my ally, well actually more neutral towards me as while he hadn't attacked me we also haven't really done anything together much, and with the white player attacking me before, it made more sense for me to start targeting white over blue. As taking all of that into account, it technically should be easier to make the blue player help out me attacking white rather than the situation being vice versa. With me not being allies with white and by randomly starting to target blue, the white player not necessarily decide to do the same. He might stick being on the blue player's side and with the blue player not being satisfied that I attacked him, they could both decide to start teaming up on me. So while I still know that the blue player can decide to start teaming up with white anyways, I believe it's still more probable for me to succeed by targeting the white player over blue. And I already see some good signs. While the blue player seemed to be more or less neutral at first, now he attacked a bunch of territories of the white player. But with me so far doing the most of the attacking when it comes to targeting the white player, I don't really want to invade him into Africa even though I easily could, because I don't want that the white player would be way more annoyed of me than the blue player. So while I did the most of work capturing the white player's territories and actually already invaded him into Africa before, this time I want that Africa will be invaded by blue, so the white player wouldn't feel that much satisfied with the blue player either. And that's awesome, the white player was invaded by the blue player as well, but at the same time blue seems capturing a lot of my territories too, so actually I'm not sure where our alliance is going to. If the white player doesn't invade blue into North America, then obviously I will have to invade the blue player by myself. But alright, the white player invaded the blue player by himself and at the same time doing a lot of damage for him as well, capturing a bunch of the territories and weakening the blue player's North African army. And as much as I would hate to attack the white player right now after he showed so much initiative to attack the blue player, I still think that it would be better to stick in the alliance with blue, as with the white player becoming so weak, the blue player could potentially over-attack him to give away him to me with his cards. And then with one of the blue player's armies being blocked, I should definitely guarantee having the advantage to myself in the endgame against him. The thing is that I don't have the alliance with the white player, and while alliances when it comes to decent player games don't that much matter, without having them, the players cannot really communicate as much. So if the white player had communicated with me before invading blue and suggested to attack the blue player for me as well, then I think I would have actually switched attacking blue over him. Anyways, with the expected scenario not happening, with the blue player actually not that much attacking white as much as I thought he would, I think it might have been better decision to follow white and attack the blue player as well, at the very least invading him into South America. But to suddenly change the fronts right now and start attacking blue, I don't think it would be that much of a great idea. So since I continued sticking in the alliance with blue, I think it's better if I still continue sticking in the alliance with blue. I guess the white player is not that much satisfied with me not attacking blue, so if I attack blue right now, then I think he would prefer to team up with blue on me. But I mean, yeah, I could always try sending the alliance to him and see what his response would be. So anyways, with the white player trading in a set and surviving, and with neither me nor blue showing the initiative to start manual rolling or crushing some of our troops to the white player as the South American and Australian players, I think I need to change my strategy a bit. So actually what I want to do, is give away Australia for white. As then with him being in Australia it should be much easier for me and blue to team up on him with us potentially capturing and holding big continents. So what I'm actually hoping for, is that the blue player lets me capture and hold both of the Americas, while he would capture and hold Africa plus Europe. Or I mean it could be vice versa, but usually when I team up in such way against the Australian player, then usually I prefer to have both of the Americas rather than Africa plus Europe. I prefer both of the Americas as then you need to guard only one border against the Australian player when the African/European player has to guard two of them. But yeah, I believe that wasn't obvious for the blue player what I want to do because obviously I didn't send him any attack request to attack white, I didn't send him anything related to capturing each other territories either, or anything else at all, but just straightly fortified my biggest army to North America. So I believe the blue player could have even thought that I wanted to invade him. So since that didn't work out I moved from North America to Europe and set my armies in the way which would indicate the blue player that I want to use that strategy against the white player but now in the way that I would be the African/European player while the blue player would be both of the Americas player. But with the blue player capturing Africa instead of moving his troops out from it, now I set my armies in the way in which we would be able to team up on white getting 5 continental troops each, with the blue player having South America plus Africa, and with me Europe, with him putting his armies in the territories of the Middle East and Central America, and with me putting my armies in Ukraine and Greenland. So it would basically be impossible for the white player to invade us if he doesn't do that immediately. And as you saw he didn't, he took Australia from me so I guess my plan has worked out. Well, maybe as long as the blue player strengthened his Middle East border as well. As you can see I put my biggest army to Ukraine. And now we should be starting to crush some troops into the white player in the way which would be equally worth for us, but of course not doing it blindly, but trying to take all of the aspects into the account and looking for the opportunities to outsmart each other. So yeah, let me make the first attack. I don't like the fact that the white player has even 5 cards right now but I think it should still be good. Well, actually I'm not that really positive anymore, with the blue additionally trading in a set I see that he has like the same amount of troops as both of us combined, plus he is going to get 5 cards, but on the other hand I have 4 of them, so it should equalize our situation, but then as the attacker he is supposed to get some favorable blitz rolls, and this is that I'm mostly afraid of. It would be a shame to give away the game like that. And wow, he was already favored with a good attacker's advantage. He lost 13 troops fewer and that's terrible for me. I hope he won't be favored as much when it comes to crushing my European armies, or ideally what I hope is that the blue player doesn't take that chance and actually lets do these attacks for me. But I would really doubt so. I think he must be aware of the attacker's advantage. Well alright, this one didn't really go well to him with his army being quite smaller. So let's see how about the another one. And this one was just alright one, he didn't get the advantage of that at all. I think he should have immediately crushed my army instead of capturing these extra North American territories before that, so he would have had better odds to get a better blitz roll crushing my army, right? I'm not the biggest expert when it comes to the odds but I believe so. So anyways, while in the beginning of this turn it seemed like the blue player had 2 troops more than me, actually what you need to take into account that you basically lose no troops capturing your opponent's territories made of 1s, So this is where the blue player got the disadvantage. One big army will always have the advantage over the same number of troops distributed in a bunch of territories made of ones. And as you can see, with the blue player not having a set, the game becomes completely over for him. So that's a GG. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, then I would recommend checking some of these out as well.